Well, let me bring in Brian Costello, covers the Jets for the New York Post. How did we get to this point, Brian?
Oof, Dan, I'm still processing it, but I think this season there was such high expectations for the Jets with Aaron Rodgers coming back, lots of Super Bowl talk, and they looked bad the last 2 weeks. It was a 1 point loss to Denver, and if Greg Zuerlein makes a 50-yard field goal, maybe things are different. But they didn't. They had 15 penalties in that game, 13 that were accepted, five false starts. And there's a clamoring. There was the fans were starting to get restless, and I think Woody Johnson listens to the fans. I think he spends a lot of time on Twitter, and he has people in his family that do. And I think that Sunday. I also think, Dan, you can't overlook the game being in London on Sunday. He was the ambassador to the United Kingdom. He's got a lot of friends over there.
Hmm.
I'm sure he was embarrassed with the way they played, and that probably played a factor in this as well.
So you're surprised?
I'm surprised. Yeah, I've been asked after last week. I was asked a bunch of times by people on different shows and stuff, and I thought they have a stretch here where they have three standalone games in a row. They were on the NFL Network Sunday morning. They play Monday Night Football this week against the Bills, and then they play Sunday Night Football in Pittsburgh. So that's three games where you have a national audience. I said to people, if they lose those three games, then I think he's in trouble because it's all the morning shows are talking about him. Everyone's talking about it. Then I think something could happen. But then the Jets haven't changed coaches midseason since 1976 when Lou Holtz quit. So this is not like, and they've had, Rich Kotite was the coach. They went 1-15. Adam Gase was the coach. They were 0-13 to start that season. Todd Bowles last season, there was calls for them to fire him midseason. Everyone knew he was gone, and it hasn't happened. So this is surprising because the Jets this is not the way they've operated in a long, long time.
I wondered if you fire Robert Salah, if you're still going to try to get Devonte Adams. Like, I don't know if those two are connected or not, Brian.
Yeah, I don't see a connection there. Devonte doesn't know Salah. I mean, Devonte's tie to the Jets is obvious with the quarterback. So that's the tie, and I don't think this changes anything in terms of Devonte Adams. I don't think that's related, Dan. I think this is just purely about what Woody Johnson's seen the last couple of weeks on the field.
Well, I didn't know if they would not fire him. They'd give him the benefit of the doubt if they were going to bring in Devonte Adams. So
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that. I think the Devonte Adams thing is more Joe Douglas negotiating that right now. This is Woody Johnson deciding to move on from Salah.
man, this is crazy. But we shouldn't be surprised, but we are surprised. Why is that? It's the Jets.
Well, I mean, Dan, if you had me on 9 days ago, right? They beat the Patriots on Thursday Night Football. They looked good, right? Rodgers was Rodgers. He was controlling it. Everyone was like, "Oh, they're going to the Super Bowl. Here they go. They hit their stride. They figured it out." I mean, Dan, we were asking questions that week before the Broncos game of, do you guys have to handle prosperity well here? Like, do you guys not have to get big heads? Like, we were literally asking these questions in the locker room 2 weeks ago, and now he's fired. Like, this league the NFL is insane with just how week to week it is. And, obviously there was a case to be made that Salah should have been fired last year.
Yeah.
Right. But he got a mulligan because Aaron Rodgers missed the whole season and they brought him back. But you could tell talking to Woody Johnson, we talked to him at NFL Honors before the Super Bowl. He was basically saying, like, this is it. Like, this is your last chance. And so I think he entered on shaky ground, and then things just got shakier the last 2 weeks here.
How do you think the players are going to react to this?
I talked to a couple this morning. They're pretty surprised right now. They didn't see this coming. Players are pretty resilient and not much phases them. So I don't think it changes much, Dan. That's my issue with this is the offense has been the problem. Right?
Yes.
Salah's a defensive coach.
Yeah.
The defense gave up 10 points to the Broncos. They gave up 16 points to the Vikings. One touchdown was a pick six, right? So the defense hasn't been the problem. The offense has been the problem. What does this change offensively? You've now made the defensive coordinator, who basically designed the defense along with Salah, the head coach. Maybe a change in voice helps. But to me, Dan, this is a 10-7 team. That's what I thought coming into the season. I still think they can go 10-7. And now if they win a few games in a row, it's going to be, oh, well, Ulbrich did it. Where I just don't think this changes much.
Do you think Woody Johnson gave Aaron Rodgers a heads up before this happened?
Yeah, that's the question right now that I have. I would think he probably would have, but I don't know that for sure right now. But I think if he didn't run it by him, that's an interesting decision.
You always have drama in your job. Is that a good thing that you always have drama?
It gives me job security, Dan. I'll say that. This beat's never boring. Like when the New York Post makes the list of jobs, and maybe we can live without this one. Jet speed is not on that list. So, yeah, but it's I just texted my wife. I said the plans have changed for the week, hon. I'm like, things are different.
Thank you, Brian.
Thanks, Dan.
That's Brian Costello, Jets beat reporter for the New York Post.